Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. And we begin with NFL player Damar Hamlin making another life-affirming play. The Buffalo Bills star, who nearly died during a game in Cincinnati last season, had dinner 2 nights ago with the 10 first responders, doctors, and nurses who saved his life. During that dinner, CBS News reports Hamlin made a surprise announcement. His charity will be awarding $1,000 scholarships to 10 young people in underserved communities in the Ohio City to chase their dreams. And each scholarship will be named after those 10 medical professionals who treated Hamlin following that devastating play. The football star said in a statement, "I'm humbled by the opportunity to set up a scholarship program to honor this team of professionals, my Cincinnati heroes." He also tweeted, "Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them." Hamlin rejoined the Bills last month, and his team played in Cincinnati last Sunday. The Bengals won 21-10. It appears that a lost continent has been found. Scientists have long suspected that around 155 million years ago, a long piece of land broke off from Australia and drifted away, but it was never known exactly where it ended up. Now, 2 geologists at a university in the Netherlands have confirmed the missing mass, called Argoland, has been located deep in the Indian Ocean. Their research indicates that the 3,000-mile-long continent broke up into fragments that are scattered throughout an area around the islands of Indonesia. The Sun says this discovery is like finding a missing piece of a puzzle for the experts studying how the Earth's continents have changed over time. The U.S. women's national soccer team is getting some much-needed new leadership from across the pond. Britain's Emma Hayes has been the coach for Chelsea for 11 years, winning 6 WSL titles and 5 FA Cups. But ESPN sources confirm she will become the new U.S. coach, a post that's been vacant since the team's disappointing performance at this summer's World Cup. Hayes won't be able to start until Chelsea's current season is over next May. That gives her just 2 months to get the American team prepared for the Summer Olympics in Paris, which kicks off in late July. Maybe this is why cat videos are so popular. New research reveals that cats have hundreds of different facial expressions. According to a study just published in the journal Behavioral Processes, researchers studied 50 cats living at a cat cafe in Los Angeles for a year and recorded 276 distinct expressions. This compares to 44 in humans and only 27 for dogs. Co-author and assistant psychology professor Brittany Florkowicz said this is one of the first studies to do a deep dive into the way felines communicate beyond the obvious purring and meowing by making small changes to their ear position, their eyes, and even their whiskers. She tells Live Science her team hopes animal shelters will use the findings to better assess cats in their care. And some companies are even wanting to design an app that lets people figure out what their cat's expressions could mean. In other KidNuz notes, it is Election Day in the U.S., though it's considered an off year because there are no presidential or midterm congressional elections taking place. But there are always important issues at stake. Voters are casting ballots to choose a governor in Mississippi and Kentucky and decide which party will control the state legislature in Virginia and New Jersey. Reuters reports political experts will be watching some of these major races and key issues closely for clues about the upcoming 2024 election, now just 1 year away. The temperatures around the U.S. are on a bit of a roller coaster. After an Arctic blast sent temps tumbling from coast to coast last week, nearly 260 million Americans are feeling above average numbers today. And some areas, mainly in the Southwest and Mid-Atlantic, could even break records with predictions of Phoenix close to 90, Pensacola, Florida in the upper 70s, and New York City in the upper 60s. Coming up, why Thanksgiving dinner could soon include pizza. But first, today's KidNuz quiz. What NFL player is setting up 10 scholarships in Cincinnati? Damar Hamlin. What's the name of the lost continent that's been found deep in the Indian Ocean? Argoland. According to researchers, cats have how many facial expressions? 276. Why is this considered an off-year election day in the U.S.? Because there are no presidential or midterm congressional elections taking place. In our KidNuz Kicker, Thanksgiving dinner doesn't usually include pizza, but that could change. Frozen food brand DiGiorno announced a new take on the Turkey Day feast, packing all the typical flavors onto a Detroit-style crust. Instead of the usual toppings, this one includes turkey, gravy sauce, sweet potatoes, green beans, and cranberries, along with mozzarella and cheddar cheese and crispy onions. The combination may be unusual, but could find some fans. A 2019 survey by Instacart found 68% of Americans say they secretly dislike a classic Thanksgiving dish, but eat it anyway out of tradition. The Thanksgiving pizza will only be available for a limited time and can only be ordered online. Before we go, a big shout out to some of our terrific teachers, Mrs. Ball and her Aggies at Fairview and Cullman, Alabama, Mrs. Smith and her Vikings at Lakewood in Lake Odessa, Michigan, and Mrs. Ratliff and her Tigers at Saltillo Elementary in Saltillo, Mississippi. Thanks for listening. A reminder that KidNuz is a nonprofit that relies on the generous donations of our listeners. If you'd like to make a donation or get a customized shout-out through a sponsorship, please go to our website, kidnuz.org. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.